share a few thoughts. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. I didn't prepare anything because I wasn't sure what DAFNI really was about. So I was going to react to what I heard before knowing what it is that I wanted to say. And I'll just very briefly say a few words about my research and how I think it fits quite well with what you're suggesting, what you're proposing in DAFNI. Basically, I have three strands to my research. One is on understanding how the built environment and specific features of cities and neighborhoods and streets affect our behaviors and our health. Another is developing health impact assessment models, and a third is about engagement, societal engagement. And in all three aspects of this work, DAFNI clearly would bring something quite relevant. So in the first strand of understanding the built environment impacts on health, it's most of my research has been about understanding what gets people to walk or bike, and different specific walkable, bikeable types of features, including green space impacts on health. So I collect, for example, data on tracking people's behaviors as part of their different travel activities, and link that to GIS measures such as green space or the availability of bike lanes, the blue space density of an environment, land use mix, etc., to see how that affects how people walk or bike, and also how that might affect, for example, some health measures such as their stress levels or their exposures to air pollution and the impacts of their pollution exposures on their health. So it's very much about generating these types of linking the data collected at a personal level or through travel surveys, for example, and try to understand how this is linked to the features of the built environment. So DAFNI definitely creates a repository in a way that would allow us in the type of research that I do definitely to link up different types of database and develop some understanding of behaviors and health. So that's fantastic. The second strand of my research is more about health impact assessments. In fact, it was nice to see Kuhn present the agent-based modeling in China. I was initially involved a bit with this students, and until I couldn't find time to answer emails and then pursue. But so agent-based modeling is something that I've been doing for many years. I haven't done any myself lately, but I have been engaged in different projects. For example, in developing health impact assessment models using synthetic populations to try to understand what types of policies will encourage active travel. So what is it that's going to be, so modeling simulating the type of changes in the built environment, how it affects active travel, and how that in turn impacts health. And I mostly been looking at pathways through physical activity and exposure to air pollution, exposure to green space, traffic injuries, noise as some of the main outputs. So this is work that I have ongoing. For example, a lot of this work I do with James Woodcock at Cambridge, with some partnerships, also with Australia and Spain. So that's the second strand of research, where I think clearly fits well with what you have at DAFNI. Again, linking up different types of available models and data sets, particularly GIS data sets. And then the third aspect is on engagement, and there's several parts of this work that I think again fits well. One of my interests is trying to understand how we engage individuals in behaviors that are relative to air pollution. So understanding whether by providing data to people on their providing feedback based on their own behaviors and exposures, how to provide feedback to them that will then engage them in changing their behaviors so they have more healthy and sustainable behaviors. And again, this is there's a real need for a platform to make that happen. That's where we collect data from individuals, it gets processed and then fed back to them. So I've had in particular a PhD student working on developing an app, but all the the data structures and modeling is always a problem for us. So how you process that data. So definitely provides a resource that would be interesting for us to consider. And then beyond individual engagement, something I've been interested in doing, and I'm starting to look at a bit more specifically, is how you engage with different levels of stakeholders. So the same way you engage with individuals, how about policymakers or civil servants or different decision makers on how you can get data from them and again feedback to them with a unified platform and visualization techniques that allow people to then make some decisions based on data that's fed back. Now, I haven't done that based on any kind of platform yet, but that's the engagement process and using structured decision making as an approach to gather feedback, gather information from people, and then provide a understanding what kind of feedback would be most useful is something that I'm developing now. So again, I think DAFNI definitely fits well. So lots of different strands of research that I think I see how DAFNI definitely would bring great value to.